Francisco 49ers deep in the heart. Like Joe Montana in the corner, D. Clark. Garrison Hurst, stiff farm going 99.
This is the 49er Faithful UK show, and this is week 11, the 4-5 and bottom of the NFC West. Seattle Seahawks arrive at Levi's for their now traditional Bay Area beating. While it's yet another team coming off a bye, their lucky 3-0 start is a distant memory, as they are now 1-4 in their last 5 games. But it is still the Seahawks, and though they may be struggling, it is the NFL. We should never take anything for granted. Let's see if our score predictions reflect that. I'm Gareth Ellis, and I'm joined by Paul Hope.
What's up, Faithful?
Lee Gowland.
Now then, fellas.
And Najee Karar.
Hello, everyone. He's alive and awake, kind of.
Are you feeling better, Lee? You're looking better.
I'm feeling much better, thank you.
Good. Well done for soldiering through last podcast. Yeah.
So, funnily enough, last night on the live show, I'd said to Paul, while I was editing the show, obviously I can see everybody's waveforms because we record the audio separately, and there was 22 minutes where I did not utter a single word.
Well, at least he wasn't snoring, which is...
We let you nap. What can we say? You looked like you needed it, so...
I did.
And then when we asked him a question, he said, "What do you want me to say?" It was like, all right, Lee, we were just worried about you, buddy.
The banter.
He's back, though. He's back.
He is back.
I'm definitely back.
And you, it's over to you. It's Lee's History Corner.
Straight in there, are we? Straight in there.
Let's not beat about the bush.
Didn't we have a moniker for this segment of the show? I thought people made some great suggestion on Discord for the name.
History. History Corner.
History Corner.
So, yeah, History Corner. So the Seahawks still lead the series 30-23. We are pulling back that gap, as we will again on Sunday night. We currently have a 6-game win streak. So that's not too bad. We've still got a little way to go to beat the Seahawks win streak of 10 games. But again, we'll make this 7 win streak on Sunday night. So because it's a divisional rival, we're not going to do the same history corner we normally do and go into the rivalry, the matchup. I've actually picked out a game. And this game, hopefully, I'm not going to tell you why I've picked this game. Hopefully you'll actually pick up on this as we go through. So this game was from September the 11th, 2011. It was played at Candlestick Park and it was played in front of 69,732 people. So I'll try and keep this brief because I know that you don't like us waffling on. So the first quarter was scoreless as both defenses dominated the game. The second quarter, however, started with 3 David Akers field goals and an Alex Smith 1-yard run, which put the Niners up 16-zip. Going into the half. The Seahawks came out in the second half strong. They had an 8-yard pass from Tavarius Jackson to Golden Tate to bring the deficit down a little bit. And then they continued that momentum into the fourth quarter when they started with the Stephen Hauschka field goal within 5 seconds of the start, reducing the deficit for Seattle to 16-10. So it wasn't a particularly high-scoring game at this point. Midway through the fourth, David Akers stepped up again and nailed another field goal to make it a 2-score game. However, the Seahawks came straight back with a 55-yard touchdown by Doug Baldwin, making the score 19-17 with just under 4 minutes remaining. On the ensuing kickoff, Ted Ginn Jr. returned that kickoff 102 yards for a touchdown.
What?
Again, putting us up by 2 scores. The Seahawks were stopped on their next drive and forced to punt. This ended up with Ted Ginn Jr. returning the punt for 55 yards and another touchdown, bringing the final score to 33-17. So hopefully you get where I was going with that particular game. Yeah, because it's a long time since we've had a special teams like that. So the player watch, a player that's played for both teams, can't go anywhere other than Richard Sherman. He was a member of the 2010s All-Decade team. He was an All-Pro in 2012, 2013 and 2014. He was second team All-Pro in 2015 and 2019 when he was with the Niners, and he also made the All-Rookie team. Sherman finished his career with 37 interceptions, 4 of which were for the Niners. And that is your History Corner.
Thank you very much, Lee. It's a timely reminder that you're actually allowed to score on special teams. I mean, who knew? Certainly not us.
Demo knew. We did do it this season,
That's
right?
True. That is true.
Yeah,
Okay, kick returns then.
yes, those ones. Those ones too. Yeah. Speaking of Demo.
Yeah, he's got the bag.
I know you guys probably talked about it yesterday, right? On the live. I couldn't catch up.
We talked about it for about half an hour on the live.
Half an hour, wonderful. Very happy. Go Ducks. No.
That was mentioned as well, Nadji, much to Gowland's delight, as you can imagine.
Well, to be fair, the Pac-12 is not a thing anymore. So the Stanford Oregon thing, which never was a thing, is even less of a thing.
It's always going to be.
It's only your thing.
Yeah.
They don't play each other anymore, so it's
no, they don't.
So yeah.
Do you know we talked on the show about manifesting, Nadji? And if you remember on Monday, we talked about maybe he's manifesting some positive. And Lee said, don't worry, there'll be some breaking news to talk about on the live. Now, Chris Wood, let the team down a little bit, buddy. Connor Ryan beat you to the punch. Now, I'm not sure what Connor was doing up past his bedtime, Nadji, but yes, fantastic news that we signed Lenore. And not only did we sign Lenore, we didn't break the bank. As me and Lee talked about last night. It's pretty team-friendly, really, when you look at the cornerbacks.
Yeah, it's a nice contract. Yeah, it's good.
I didn't want to preempt it when John called me up and asked me if it was good value. But I said Demo's my boy, so
he's your boy.
Sign him.
I think the biggest news is the insider war that we have now, and those two are just gonna end up in some kind of cage in some kind of wrestling contest, I'm sure.
Well, Chris joined us in the comments on the live, Nadji, and he dropped some breaking news of his own that apparently Nadji Carrar's 2025 cap hit is one to keep an eye on. It could be quite big, according to the insider. So, people, we might have to dig deep to keep Carrar on the show.
The Chargers podcast is trying to get us straight. Yeah, that's not happening.
Casualty. Cap casualty.
No, everything's guaranteed. I'm sorry.
Enough of this nonsense. Shall we go on to the game? Injury reporting. I will kick off with that. The Seahawks are off their bye week. I don't think they've been that badly beaten up this season, but I think they lost a few players early on or even before the season started, but not practicing this week. On their report are tight ends Noah Fant and Brady Russell, defensive end Leonard Williams and centre Connor Williams. This week, they also released linebacker Terrell Dodson, who had started all games for them this season, was an off-season pickup and was their current leading tackler at about 71. So a bit of an odd way for them to start their week off their bye. Yeah. So happy signs of an implosion at the Seahawks, do you think?
Yeah, something's not quite right, isn't it? I don't think that new coach is kind of making ways that the Seahawks are used to. Yeah, it's a good time to destroy them and send them backpacking to the Pacific West.
To be fair, Gareth, I was going to touch upon this a little bit on the defensive scouting report because it is kind of surprising that he's been calling the players. As you said, he's played all 9 games, but I've got some quotes from McDonald, which we'll get into, which may allude to why they've made a change halfway through the season.
Sounded very diplomatic to me. I think I've read the same ones. Over to the Niners injury report. Javarius Ward is still away from the team. A few not appearing on the practice field this week. Nick Bosa, Kevin Givens, George Kittle, Trent Williams, though I think that is just his Veterans Day, and Mitch Wishnowsky. We have signed a veteran punter whose name has escaped me, but one of you guys will save me.
Josh McDonald, something Mike O'Donnell, something like that. Joe line number 2, we call him. Jimmy
yeah, that's it. Yeah, Timu Jimmy.
Connor Ryan shared that in the group. Connor's on fire this week. Yeah, Team You Jimmy. Connor, not sure what you've been eating this week, son, but you've been dropping some bombs in the group.
I thought that was excellent. There,
it's very good indeed. Yeah. Let's hope it's he's as good as Jimmy, at least, throwing ball as far away.
Some limited participation for Chris, friend of the show, Connolly, and John, what's his number, Feliciano. But full practice for Renato Green and Jutta Gross Matos. A couple of concerning names on that report, particularly George and Nick. I assume they're just being on the safe side. Have you heard anything else on your social medias?
Well, Nick is the same injury that I had prior to the game, which made him questionable into, it was doubtful into questionable, and was very close not to play, but powered through it. So I think this is just precaution, taking it easy so he can recover. George is just always injured. At this point, are we actually surprised to see him on the injury report? No, not too worried. Let's hope that it's just niggles that they can work through throughout the week. It's only Thursday, so maybe it's precautionary. Ronaldo Green is full participant, which he was on the injury list after the game. I'm not even sure he finished the game because of his toe. So that's a good news. And then, yeah, Yutogos Matos is a big, big, big return. I think it's going to help us a ton. Um, quite by quite a margin, because I think he's better than Harold Floyd. So yeah, looking forward to see him on the field.
I believe Kittle is a hamstring officially, a slight tweak, maybe because he's been doing all that running around and scoring touchdowns for 7 weeks in a row. But it's Seattle. Kittle's going to be playing. Najee, he loves playing against those birds.
Yeah, absolutely.
He does. So, shall we see how the teams match up? Have we got the Seahawks offense? Oh, gee, no.
No. Nothing new. We talked at length during the first meetup to this team. It looks like they might even be missing their center this week, which makes the line even worse, really. It is their biggest weakest point. There's not really much to talk about. They couldn't really run the ball. Metcalf hasn't played for 3 weeks now, so it's definitely going to refresh, but probably a bit rusty. That's the only thing I'm worried. Again, like we said on the first meetup, the only name that really scares me on that list is Lockett. We know he can have a good game. You know, he's a good receiver, and he can take the top off. He can have a monster game sometimes. He's just a very good receiver. Anything you guys want to talk about that is not obvious, or that we haven't talked about in a previous?
Smith and Jigma has had a couple of good games, I think, in Lockett's absence. He's had a bigger role. I think a lot was expected of him, and he hasn't really reached it yet. So maybe it's all coming together for him. Could be a guy to look out for. First round pick. There's a good chance he becomes dangerous. Though, of course, he is always going to be limited by who's throwing the ball to him, which I think is... put it this way, I'd love to see Geno stay at the Seahawks for years.
Yeah,
put it that way.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. He's a good player. I think, unfortunately for him, he's landed in a team that's not going to see him reach the potential that he could, especially being in the same locker room as DK Metcalf, which is basically a baby room with a big crib in the middle. And there's just toys everywhere, which is it's not easy to work and watch film when people are throwing toys everywhere. So yeah, I do like him. I liked him a lot at Ohio State, and you know he was very good. I just feel like if it ended with the Chiefs, or you know with us, or with good passing team, maybe the Bengals, maybe the Ravens, he would have probably had an amazing career. And I just feel like he's
Not the
probably
Chargers,
good.
though. Good passing team.
The Chargers too, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, he's good. He's dangerous. He's young though, so I think Sorensen and our defense can handle that. But he's good. Yes, that is the thing. But the problem is, as you alluded very well, is that Geno Smith is throwing the ball to him, and he doesn't have an O-line to protect him all that long against Nick Bosa, and as I said, Yuto Gross Matos is coming back. So I'm once again very confident that we will beat them, and I feel I just want to put this out there that this is going to be the game that we finally score loads of points.
Ooh, teeing that up.
When I was preparing for today, because I wasn't sure who was doing the homework on that, there was a stat
You,
that I
Paul. It's
stumbled
always
across.
you.
It's always you.
And I
Yeah.
had to read this out because I'm smirking because Seahawks were the bane of my life for years. So on third down, chaps, the Seahawks average 8.9 yards to gain on third down, which not only leads the league this year, but would have been the highest season average of the century.
Oh my
So
god.
as you said, Nadji, Geno Smith is being pressured at the 5th highest rate in the league, and he ranks 16th in dropback for EPA. Now, the problem the Seahawks have, Gareth, is the offensive coordinator, he likes to have more blockers than the defense has rushers. But as Nadji said, they've got such a poor O-line, and they just haven't changed. And
5 tight ends.
they just don't have an identity. I mean, Kenneth Walker III, a lot of people play fantasy football, were raving about him at the start of the season. And he seems an afterthought in this offense. And I think a lot of the Seahawks fans, as Nadji said, the big baby is back. I can already see Chris Wood working his magic with a gif, a meme of a baby, a dummy, some toys. Nadji, you're just going to keep Chris busy. But you've got to be careful. You look at the stats for this one. I always go on like the NFL website and I try and get, where they're ranked in total offense. And they're actually ranked 9th in total offense. I was like, wow, that's 359.4 total yards per game and 25 touchdowns on the season. You look at the passing offense, which is just yards, not touchdowns. They're actually ranked 1st with 268 yards per pass attempt, in the game. But then you look at the conversion rate and then you go down. They dropped to 15th in the scoring offense. They dropped to 27th in the rushing offense. They dropped to 24th in the third down offense. So like you said before, Gareth, if you look at the stats alone, you'd think this Seattle team coming in, they've lost 5 of the last 6. And it is nice, chaps, approaching a Seattle game and not worrying. I don't know how Nadji's made his feelings clear. What do you reckon, Lee? Is this the 50 burger game that you're going to predict?
No, not quite 50 burger. That's for sure. But I mean, you've already mentioned where the weakness is. You just look at the right-hand side of the offensive line, and you know that we're going to have some fun there. We should be able to get pressure through there. It was an interesting stat you've made there. I can well believe it. I mean, does that not really suggest that they can move the ball? They just can't do anything with it once they're in the red zone.
It suggests to me that they're playing from behind and people are playing very soft zone and they can get a lot of yardage underneath. Yeah. So that's
They're getting a lot of air yards during garbage time.
They were 3-0 due to a very, very friendly schedule. The way it worked out for them. So,
absolutely. I mean, I think Metcalf coming back, a lot of the Seattle fans are hoping he's going to stretch the defense vertically because that's something they've struggled against with him being missing. But like you said, when you look at even the yards, 91.2 rush yards per game, it's down in 27th. So they're not running the ball. And like you said, Nadji, sometimes when you're playing from behind, and we've seen what happens when they put the ball in the hands of Geno Smith. You get an interception, and long may that continue on Sunday, chaps.
Absolutely.
He is a league leader in interceptions.
And in passing yards, which is crazy.
So he has 11 touchdown passes, but 10 picks on the season, which is tied for the most in the league with Jordan Love and Sam Darnold. So I just thought I'd mention that before we moved over. And he's been sacked 28 times this season, which is the fifth most in the NFL. So Seattle need to limit sacks and turnovers. But do we reckon they're going to do that on Sunday, chaps? With who we're going up against?
Nope.
Not much more we can say.
No,
having seen them once this season already.
Yeah, that's when we play them twice. It's hard to come up with something new unless they change a lot of things, and apparently they're not changing anything. So that's it.
There we go. Let's flip it over.
Yeah.
Let's see how we're going to score some points against Seattle's defense. Obviously, defensive coordinator turned head coach had the best of us last year when he was at the Ravens. Not very impressive outing last time. I'm expecting much the same this time. The defense has not looked solid, and obviously having lost certainly lost one linebacker due to being released, and obviously they traded and swapped linebackers 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, was it? Little bit unsettled on the defensive side, and I don't think there's a huge amount of talent there. Some at corner, but I don't think there's a lot of talent throughout that defense.
I don't know. I mean, Julian Love at safety.
He's a good safety, but
yeah,
they don't really have any pressure, which makes playing safety very difficult. Leonard Williams is a veteran, has been in the league for a while. He's a good player, but again,
yeah, he's got a bit of a knock as well. I think he's questionable for the weekend.
I think if Leonard Williams was on our team, he would probably have a great season. But by himself in a team like this, it's a lot harder. Maffei is not a bad player, but again, kind of isolated, and we know what Witherspoon can do, and that was 5 years ago, so it's not gotten better.
That's completely different Witherspoon. That
is it? Oh yeah, it's not a Carroll, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not a Carroll Witherspoon.
No, okay. Fair enough.
You touched upon it at the start, Gareth, the fact that they've moved on from Terrell Dodson and filled his spot. They've resigned cornerback Josh Joby. Dodson was the defensive play caller, and apparently he's going to be replaced by 4th-round rookie Tyrese Knight. But the trade you alluded to is Ernest Jones. So he's going to remain the starting Mike linebacker, take over the play calling. Job has supplanted Trey Brown as the third cornerback, which in this scheme is effectively a starting position because of how often Seattle are in the nickel. Now, the good news for us, the Seattle defense averages a 108 QB rating with 261 passing yards per game and 8.4 yards per attempt over the last 5 weeks. They've also allowed 151 rushing yards per game, which is 4.9 yards per carry. And they're coming up against a team that likes to run the ball and is getting CMC back in the groove. So I think I know where it's going, but you talked about making changes. We've talked about maybe we need to make changes at special teams. Seattle, maybe they're not waiting until the end of the season. They're blowing things up. Apparently, the reason he's released the linebacker is McDonald wants to give some of the younger players an opportunity, so players like Knight and Drake Thomas to step up, and he believed it offers Dodson the chance to go elsewhere, which, like you said, I thought was a bit strange because he's played every game. He's been their leading tackler, but apparently they've been awful against the run, and that goes with the linebacker room. And given McDonald's scheme coming from the Ravens and in the division he's in, we like to run the ball. So it isn't a surprise that Chaps that he's blown it up, do you think, and trying something different?
No, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
It's a bit weird to have done it at the back end of your bye week. That struck me as being. I can fully understand you want to give the younger players a go, but you could integrate them more gently. I think maybe obviously Dodson didn't take it too well. He thought he was going to be the starter, and could already see he was being replaced, and said, "That's not what I'm here for. I want to go somewhere else." He has been picked up by Miami, so he is going to go and take his starting job somewhere else. Obviously, it is an opportunity for those youngsters, but it does seem it's not going to help with the defensive continuity, is it? And it seemed an odd time to do it at the back end of the year.
I think the timing is the most interesting thing, and it clearly just kind of a symptomatic of a young coaching staff that doesn't really know what they're doing. Again, I agree. I think if you're going to give your youngsters some more lead and some more leeway, then why wouldn't you do that from day one? It's not like training camp is a good indication of where your players are. Just the way we did it with Fred, we kind of just gave him the keys and we believe this guy will get there eventually, and look what it's done, right? So yeah, it's really weird, and it must be a bit of a weird atmosphere right now in the linebacker room, in the defense room, during meetings, even on the field. The guy's scoring the plays, and then next thing you know, he's gone, not even traded or anything, just released completely. That's very odd. Again, I think it shows a level of maturity on the coaching staff, and the way they handle things probably isn't quite right, which is very weird for a Seattle team because we're very used to this not happening very often.
It is. It's an interesting coaching staff. I think there's very little NFL experience. If I've read that correctly, that the assistant coaches have been picked up from college teams. Not to say they haven't got talent, interesting way of doing things, but there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of experience in this coaching, and that's a big change from obviously the days of Cheaty Petey. who is probably still around the building. Do you think he's still got influence?
Possibly, Gareth.
I thought he made a clean cut.
I thought he was still some more like put him towards the front office.
So I think they wanted to do that, but I'm sure the new coach came in and had a different idea because he didn't want them hanging about. I might be wrong, because I just seem to recall something that said they were making a clean break.
For a long time, we knew that Pete had a lot of influence, effectively almost being GM as well as coach. So big changes in Seattle.
I mean, when I've been preparing and watching the game,
and I'm smiling. That's all I can say.
You can't blame it all on the coaching staff. When you look at it, the entire unit has lacked discipline. They've committed a lot of errors. And maybe McDonald's looking at the fact that the last in the division, why not rip the band-aid off now? And maybe, like you said, Nadji, maybe it's kind of been a battle of wills, behind the scenes at the bye week. Maybe they've sat down, I wouldn't say clashed, but maybe they've aired it out. And he, like you said, he said, no, I'm not taking it. I mean, I have a friend at work, Rob, who's he's getting into the NFL. And he said, I've got a friend who's a Seahawks fan. And he sent me a message today, Paul, saying, hope you enjoy the weekend. And he was being a bit giddy. And I looked at the stats, Nadji, and I was like, this Seattle defense is awful. Now, I know you shouldn't just look at the stats. And you should go and look at the game tape. But it's a divisional game. So this is why we don't go too in-depth in these, because we see these twice a season. But, the 25th overall in total defense, Gareth. And I just don't know where they're going to stop us. They're terrible against the run. We've got RB1 Jordan Mason. We've got RB2 CMC. Isaac Guerrero had a good play against these last time. And then Brock is just coming into his own. Like you said, Nadji, probably one of his best performances last week. And he loves to play Seattle. Like how Russell Wilson used to like playing against us. I'll get that in there. Brock Purdy loves to play against these birds.
Yeah.
So I've just checked, and Pete Carroll is still there as an advisor.
Yeah, I thought he was still, advisor, inverted commas.
What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think
what is he doing?
Yeah.
Who's the advisor?
Maybe nothing, Nadji. That's
You
probably
must be
the point.
just sat in a comment, smirking, thinking. It's not that easy, is it? When you
chewing gum.
Chewing gum in a corner, making diamonds.
I mean, we haven't been great on converting third downs, and I think this could be a get-right game because they are 15th overall. They're allowing teams to convert 38% in third down against them. And like you said, they've allowed 25 touchdowns over this season. And I can't wait for your score predictions. Nadji's alluded to a big one. I wonder what Lee's going to do with this one because it's getting close at the top of the table, isn't it, Nadji? So is he going to go with the 31-13 or is he going to come out with something different?
Shall we find out, since there isn't much more to say on that? The betting lines, the Niners are 6.5 point favourites, and the over-under is 50.5.
Other side. There we go. Yeah, you're at the top. I can see this.
Look at that.
We have the score predictions graphic on the screen for those of you listening in, and it's not pretty.
No, is it?
It's not pretty.
Don't like it at all.
It's a beautiful thing. To quote
my good friend Lee Gowland, Nadji, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Absolutely.
So...
That's very true. Very true. All right, let's do it.
It's Lee. Lee's top.
Is.
Yeah.
Right, if you give a second, I'll just get the spreadsheet up.
All right. This is good podcasting.
That's right. We need some elevator music, don't we?
Yeah, that's it.
Right, wait for the graphic to go on.
Not that he's keeping us all waiting in anticipation because he's top of the league or anything, Nadji. For those people listening, driving the car at the moment, Wayne's probably thinking, is my Discord thing gone off? It's not working anymore, chaps.
Wayne's in the future. And
right, so I'm quite torn. Here. Because I agree with Nadji. I think we might put quite a few points up.
Mm-hmm.
But I also appreciate that it's a divisional game.
That's
and
very
teams
true.
Tend to step up on divisional games.
Very true.
So I might just go with a little bit caution here.
Not like you to overthink the score prediction game, like.
So I'm going to go with obviously a win. It's going to be 33-17. I already know what Paul scores.
You do not, but I'm smirking because
I do. You're going 31-13.
I am not. That would be the obvious choice. However, similar to Lee, it won't surprise anybody to hear that the 49ers are winning this one. The Seattle Seahawks will score 17 points, as Lee Gowland has predicted, but the 49ers will score 34 and will hear the groans from Easington when Matt scores. Oh, Falkirk, sorry, because you'll be up in the candlestick.
That's right, I will be.
So 34-17.
You've gone for 34-17. Well, I'm gonna have to change it. I have on my piece of paper written 33-17, but I can't. Do that. And I was thinking, okay,
that's
just
freaky,
fine.
That.
I'll just put it up to 34-17 while Paul was speaking. So that's been robbed of me. So I'm going to go. Let's go on. I'm going to throw caution to the wind. 38-13.
Oh, for goodness sake! This is horrible. All right. Well.
Yeah.
All right.
Go on then. At least I can outbold you, and they're clean points. So.
Well, you think you can, but I'm going to have to go bolder than this.
Go on then.
And I always thought this was going to be a get-right game, even though I do think last week kind of was. If it wasn't for Moody and the muff punch, we would have won probably 35-7. What have you done to me? I'm going to have to go 42 to 17.
Yeah, you have to do 17. You have to do that. People won't believe us.
I can't do 17. I can't do 17 because if it is 17, I don't get any more points then.
Gareth, did you say 13 or 17?
I said 13.
Yeah, I'm going to have
to go 17.
I'm going to have to go 20. 42-20. And we're smashing them. Yeah, never mind. 7 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns. I can't count anymore.
It's getting towards the big business end of the season for the score predictions.
Well, CMC's back second week, and it's there.
We're only just over halfway.
We can do it. Halfway through the season, yeah, absolutely.
What's interesting, we don't speak before this pod. So we all have our scores written down.
Yeah.
So when Gowland read his out, I was like, oh, for God's sake. And Gareth was the same, and Najee was the same. That's the beauty of the pecking order.
I was going to go for 38-13. That's totally ridiculous.
Well, funny enough, I mean, the two scores I was flip-flopping over was 33-17 and 35-17. So either way, I'd have been one off from Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when you do the prep for the because we're doing the prep now where we look at the defense and the offense of the other team, and then like you said, Najee, you look at our team and you look at the breakdown from last week and you think, the points are there every week for us to score. We've got to click.
We've been doing this for a long time, and we kind of have the way we analyze games, and we see the odds and we see previous games, and we have an understanding of the game that's pretty much on par. So it does make sense that we see the game the same way. It makes sense.
So I wanted to put on record, Gareth, the Dirty Points should have a new segment. None of us should be messaging Anthony Folger before this show. Now, I don't think Lee has.
God.
However, Anthony Folger is way out. And I was thinking about it today. I was thinking, hang on a minute. Anthony, you have to play fair, son. If any of the four of us message you before a pod, out was in Discord. I'm only joking, Lee. I just thought I'd mention that, but he's doing so well.
If it's Lee, give him a fake prediction.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So obviously, Anthony Folger's up at Falkirk on Sunday as well.
Oh, easy now. Very nice.
Yes, so I'm going to make sure he drinks so much beer that he's not going to be capable of giving another score prediction for 2 weeks.
Very nice.
He's not going to be able to count until week 15.
That's very good. Side note, because we do have a pick'em on the Discord as well that we play. Pick all the games every week. The entirety of the NFL, and Barry is absolutely smashing everyone. He's like 11 games ahead, I believe. This is fun. This is super fun to try and pick games. Just a winner, not scores.
So that is Barry, aka the Chief Slayer, because he
Chiefs.
absolutely smashed the half-time down in the pint competition.
Oh,
in
yeah, that's
Newcastle.
it. Yeah, that's right.
So
Absolutely.
we have video evidence of that, Nadji. The Chiefs lad was giving it the big talk, and Barry just went up and drank like it was like a glass
Just
of
like
milk
water,
straight down. So it doesn't surprise me that Barry's smashing it. It was great to catch up with him in Newcastle. I know he listens to the show, and like you said, Nadji, it's good to see that element of Discord take off as well as the
it's great.
score
It's
prediction.
good fun.
There's
It's good fun.
the other bits.
Keeps the engagement up on other things. It's very good. All right, believe it's ball these times, and
It is. It
we've all
is.
asked
We've had
goals.
the score predictions, but come on,
Let it
let's
have.
have some player
I
performance.
have a couple of rules because we keep doing the same thing.
Nadji
We're not allowed
rules.
to talk about Bossa.
Yeah, I wasn't
Not
going
allowed to
to.
talk about him. No baldies about Bossa, please, because it just doesn't deliver otherwise.
But
I
he's
believe it's
injured.
our fault.
He's carrying an injury, so
He is carrying
we'll
an
get
injury.
down to that.
Well, funny enough, I've gone in a completely different direction
Go on then,
altogether
Go
to
on
what
then.
we
All
normally
right,
go
go on
in.
then. Go
Well,
on.
you're still
So-
ahead, so you should be first.
So I've got 3 baldies, and I'll give you them all together.
Okay.
So I'm going to say Cowing's going to return a kickoff for a touchdown.
I like that.
I'm also going to say we will get a first down via a fake punt. Yeah. And Moody will kick a 60-plus yard field goal.
Oh my God.
You've watched our special teams this year, Lee. What are you doing? I
Yep,
mean,
yep.
reverse psychology might work, but
He's-
What's this whole
he's still
episode been
drunk
about?
from Belfast.
I
Clearly,
think you may have left a
Go
bit
back
of brain
to
in
History
Belfast.
Corner.
oh, I knew exactly as soon
Yeah.
as you said, I knew it was all special team related. But like Nadji said, we're not talking Nick Bosa, so Lee's like, right, just rip the band-aid off. Special teams.
Let's do it.
I've got related that, and this is the boldest of bold. Come Monday, we won't be talking about special teams.
That is the boldest of
That
bold
is bold.
indeed. Yes, that's very bold. I like it though. I like yours, Lee. And if even just half of the one that you got happens, I'll be happy. All right. Paul,
Go on,
Paul,
Nadji.
have you got some? Do you want me to go?
Yeah,
You
why
can
not?
go, Nadji. It's all right. Go on, buddy.
All right. Well, 42 points. But here's my bold prediction: no one will have multiple touchdowns.
I like that. I like that. So that leads into mine because my score has us getting 4 touchdowns and I dished them out. So CMC
Oh, there
is
you
getting
go.
a rushing touchdown. Debo is getting a rushing touchdown because he loves to play against Seattle. Kittle continues his streak with a receiving touchdown. And I think Purcell gets another touchdown. I think Brock goes for 400 yards, 0 interceptions.
400.
So that's what I decided to go a bit bold on that one.
I have another very bold one. It's kind of related to
Very
them.
bold.
Very, very bold. Brandon Allen will have a touchdown.
Ooh. Is that on a trick play where Brock motions out? And
No, the game will be 37. Wait, maths. 35 to 20, and
Late in the fourth.
late in the fourth, and he's going to get in and throw a bomb to.
Do you know what would make that bold? No, he has to throw it to Ronnie Bell. That would break the internet.
I
And
can't-
maybe he's Ronnie.
we say bold, we don't say impossible. It's just things that can happen.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. We all have seen a Ronnie Bell touchdown though at
We have,
Levi's.
that's
Yeah,
true.
we have. And a good catch. A good catch.
It
at
was
Yeah.
unbelievable. You can't
Although
do it.
Nadji ripped the rug from under me with defensive because I did have a couple for Bosa, so I'll
Nope.
scrap them.
No, lad.
So Gino is going to throw 4 picks.
4. Ooh.
Lenard's going to get one, back of his
Obviously.
new contract.
Nice.
Green, Warner, and I think Mustafa has a forced fumble. I think maybe we've got something special for
Very
Mustafa
nice.
rather than
I like
Bosa. So
I like
they're
that.
my defensive ones.
I had 3 ints actually: Green, Warner, and Mustafa.
Very nice.
They're
I
very
like that.
similar. I think with their linebacker problems, this is either going to be a JJ game or a Kittle game. I'm not sure Kittle's going to be involved that much, but I can see JJ's going to be the go-to guy now that Ayuk is out. And I think we know JJ's a bit prickly. We know he's going to enjoy yards after the catch against the Seahawks, and I think I can see him running rampant with a couple of touchdowns and a good 100-yard game for JJ.
What Kittle tends to do well against Seattle is he tends to kind of it's a couple of passes in a row, isn't it? He might get like 4 receptions and score 3 touchdowns and go for like 50 yards rather than be targeted 11, 12 times. So I think that's a good one, Gareth, especially
That's
across the middle. So I like that, buddy.
I'd like to, Kittle. Well, 1 catch, 12 yards, touchdown. That's all he needs to do.
Take it.
Yeah.
I have one final one for
on.
our defense, their offense. But I believe Leno will make DK Metcalf get ejected.
Oh, good. Funnily enough, I've got DK Metcalf one as well.
Oh,
after I almost failed
really.
it last time. DK Metcalf's going to give up at least 30 yards of penalties.
Well, that ties up. Two personal foul.
Yeah.
See you later. I like it.
I am very surprised that no bold predictions have been made about the Candlestick Inn. So maybe, what time does the game kick off on Sunday?
What is bold when you talk about the Candlestick
Well,
Inn?
that's what I was trying to think. What would you reckon, Lee, is bold? Because the game's, is it a 9:05 or 9:25 kick off?
So here's a bold prediction then. Kind of related to the Candlestick Inn, but we won't have made it there by the time this bold prediction kicks in. So I've been to Asda today and got 36 cans of Bud Light for the journey up to Falkirk. So I predict that at least half of those cans are gone by the time we get to Falkirk. And bearing in mind,
it's
only
Bud Light,
2 hour journey.
to be fair. But
Yeah.
Drink responsibly, people.
Just you, Lee? Is that just for you?
No, on the train. No, so there'll be me and Andy Hudson. Dave Betteridge is going to try and get on the same train as us. So maximum 3, minimum 2.
See, when you said the over-under was 50.5, I thought you were going to follow that by bottles of Fireball consumed at the Candlestick Inn. And I was thinking, that's not
I'm
bad
taking
average.
the over on that any day.
Yeah.
But all jokes aside, Lee.
I must apologize to Brett. He has been inviting me for the past 5 years, I think, to that. And he always picks a weekend that I'm working, unfortunately, while I'm away. So once again, I can't make it because I'm working. So apologies, Brett. I will make one. I promise. I just need to I need to be free.
You'll have the fear of missing out, Nadji. So
yeah, no, I do already have
I've missed.
Yeah,
so the first one I missed due to childcare, and they were phoning me non-stop, video calls, and it was all good. Neil Watson sent me a video which was for my eyes only. I think it was the last time he drank Fireball with El Presidente. So
he didn't drink Fireball that night. It was just whiskey.
Bill.
Wow.
Just whiskey. Sorry, just whiskey. But I have a feeling that after the video calls Brett was giving us from Tampa Bay while we were at the meetup on Sunday, I think Lee they'll be phoning me, chaps. So I'll keep you all updated on the Discord chat. I will be on Discord this week, Nadji. So
nice.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. I need to make the thread. That reminds me. But Discord will be back. Game thread. That's where it's happening. Again, remember. Be positive no matter what happens. That's what we do. Have fun, enjoy. It should kicking into After Dark because I think it's 9:05 kickoff. So as soon as 11:30 midnight kicks in.
No, it's not
blacked out.
Game this week. No.
Get on DAZN or get on whatever you can watch it. It's a lot better because I think people are less far away when it's not on terrestrial TV. So yeah, it should be fun. I'm working but not that late, so I will be on it 100%. Should be a good Sunday.
Fantastic. Anything more? I think this is a bit of a short one, but let's wrap it up.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, 45 minutes, so.
That's good. Thank you, gentlemen. A pleasure as always. Thank you to everyone who listens and watches the show. We do appreciate it. We're over halfway through the season. Thanks for sticking with us. It's only going to get more interesting from here on out. Catch us on Discord for the game day thread. Facebook, the wall will be off for posting until Eric does the reaction game thread at the end of the game, as you would expect it to be. We'll be back next week to review what's happened. Let's build on last week's win. Let's pick the Seahawks out of their misery. And we need to take care of business because there are better teams than this around the corner. So we do need this win. Enjoy the weekend and go Niners.
Go Niners.
Bang, bang, Niner gang.
We love the San Francisco 49ers deep in the heart. Like Joe Montana in the corner, D. Clark. Garrison Hurst, stiff farm going 99.